Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is currently winter time and there is no grass at all to mow. So I figured I'd actually make a first impression / review video on this John Deere Q810E. I only got to use it a handful of times prior to storing it away because I did receive it late in the season, so I wasn't able to really put it on much tall grass. I was able to use it on a couple properties where I was taking off maybe 3-4 inches, so I still did put it to good use, but I will have a separate review video after I use it this coming spring and summertime. But this is basically going to be a first impression / kind of just going over every single feature on this Q810E. So to start off, it is a 36-inch mower. That means it's got a 36-inch deck. It's built for one thing, and that is tight spaces. So your gates, your small front lawns, just areas where you don't want to put a big mower on with a big cutting deck or it actually won't fit. This is where this deck size comes in clutch. And on this mower particularly, the deck is actually the widest part of the entire mower itself. So it's not like your covers stick out farther or your gas tank sticks out farther, or sometimes if you notice the wheels might stick out a bit farther. Well, this one is a true 36-inch. And most gates nowadays, they build them to where they're like 38 inches, so you'll squeeze right in. Another question I often get is, well, who is this machine for? Well, you gotta think about it this way. This is a commercial machine. So think of commercial guys, lawn care professionals, maybe even that solo lawn care guy that's just starting his business and has the money or is going to use some debt in order to purchase a expensive machine, whether that be straight up or finance it. What they're going to receive is a commercial unit that's going to last them a lifetime. I mean, I know people that say their John Deeres have lasted them 20, 30 plus years and they still use it, whether that be a snowblower or a lawnmower or a tractor. They still use it to this day. Yes, you're going to replace parts. Yes, things are going to break down, but that's just the reality of using a machine to its fullest capabilities. But the Q810E is part of John Deere's Q800 series quick track mowers. I believe the Q810E model is the only one that's in the 36-inch configured mowing deck. So again, it is that tight space solution for you. And don't think that since it is a 36, it's not a commercial unit. I know some guys are like, oh, the bigger the better, the bigger the more commercial, or the better build quality. That's not always true. Again, they build these to commercial specs. We will talk about all the features, but by just looking at it, you know that this thing is able and capable of tackling anything you throw at it. Is it different than some other brands? Yes, of course, but again, that's what makes each mower brand and each mower unique. I actually always advocate, if a professional or a lawn care guy is getting into the lawn care business and they're looking for the perfect deck size, well, it all depends on your specific area. I know guys that mow acreage, so it wouldn't make sense to them to recommend them a 36-inch mower. I'd say, man, if you're mowing acreage, get the biggest deck possible. 72, 108, 144 if you can, but those are really expensive, but at least like a 60-inch or 72-inch deck. But if you have small residential areas where there are small gates, pick yourself up a 36 and you should be good to go to mow those small areas. Well, what if you're like somewhere in the middle? Well, that gets tricky. Again, you can get a 48-inch mower. That's what I started out with. And then maybe pick up a 36, I don't know. But if I had to choose two deck sizes, my ideal setup would be a 36-inch stand-on commercial mower like this Q810E and a 52-inch deck. So that's my ideal setup if you are operating a lawn care business full time and you want two mower deck sizes, a 36 and a 52. Hands down, those are the winners for my area. Again, if you are mowing acreage or if you're mowing smaller properties where you maybe even need a push mower, get what suits your lawns. All right, let's talk a little bit about the engine components. You have a 19-horse Kawasaki V-twin engine. It's, of course, commercial grade engine, full pressure lubricated. You got the heavy-duty canister air filter. I believe this is a Donaldson, but don't quote me on that. I believe Kawasaki does use Donaldson air filters, or maybe an air Donaldson style air filter. The deck is a 36-inch fabricated deck made out of 7-gauge steel, designed particularly for airflow and good cut quality. And again, I've taken this on a couple properties and it's left a nice finished cut. I'll probably add some B-roll to show you guys what kind of cut quality it does. And those were fresh, brand new blades, by the way, too. Brand new blades always make a difference on the cut quality. As far as speed goes up to about 8 miles per hour. Again, I rarely take it that fast. If I'm mowing, I usually go around 4, maybe even under that. But for all you guys that do a lot of transporting, going from one place to another, 8 miles per hour I think is plenty down sidewalks or street sides or whatever, across parkways, I don't know, but that is your top forward speed. For reverse, who keeps track of that? Fuel tank is pretty cool. I wish it was a little bit bigger. I think a 36-inch mower nowadays needs to go above 5.6. I mean, this thing is 5.6. It's got a fuel shut-off on top, which is great. It's also got a fuel gauge on the top, which is amazing. But I honestly wish, I know space is kind of limited. Maybe if they bump this up to at least 10, I'm 100% certain that their bigger mowers do have up to 10, maybe even 12-gallon fuel tanks. But for 36, man, we need to bump this up a little bit higher. I do run out of fuel pretty quickly, especially when cutting overgrown properties. Having a bigger fuel tank just reduces the amount of times I have to refuel. And I believe 5.6 is just under my preferred size. All right, let's talk about comfort. As you can see in the frame, I am a tall operator. I'm 6'2". One issue I've been having with stand-on mowers is the knee pad is not high enough for my knees. I've actually got on a mower one time where my knees were smacking on a piece of metal every time I'd hit a bump. There was no padding at all. That was covering my knees, only my thighs, I guess, and it made for a very painful, uncomfortable ride. I'm happy to say that with the combination of this platform and this knee pad, my knees are safe when I do hit some bumps. Now, I wish it was more softer, more gel-like. I think it's just foam inside here. If it was kind of like a gel material that could really take the blow if I'm really smacking against rocks or going on uneven surfaces and my knees are constantly hitting, it would make for an even smoother ride. But again, really no complaints on this pad. We'll see how it holds up. I haven't ran into any issues with it at all. Again, it is bright yellow, so it's gonna get dirty real quick, especially with the dusty properties that I tackle. Let's talk about the control layout. So very simplified. You have your key switch, your PTO, your light switch, if you have that accessory, your hour meter, your choke, and your throttle. I will say that I prefer different mower control platforms over this Q810E because of how this is designed with this rear bar kind of in the way of some of these components, your key switch, your choke. You have to really reach under to grab that choke or to grab the throttle or to grab the key, especially if you're standing and I'm gonna have to move the camera back a little bit, too tall. Especially if you're standing and leaning and you wanna go behind and grab the key to turn it off or to turn off your blades. This bar is rubbing all over my hand and I'm really having to kind of go under there and really grab it. If they were to raise these bars, especially, I don't know if they make like a raised kit for these bars here, but if they did, that would be amazing. So if they were to take these two bars and literally move them like right here, that would be perfect. It would open up this whole control panel right here to where you don't have to go underneath the bar to grab. When I got on this machine for the first time, that's honestly the first thing I noticed right off the get-go is I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to get used to the way these bars are positioned because I'm gonna have to reach under to grab all the controls. And I'll even do a little bit more research to see if maybe we could raise these up, because there's probably no way we could modify to make these go this way because of these controls. They're stuck in place, I know for a fact. We can't move those. I don't know, just my thoughts there. Okay, last but not least, a few more points I want to touch on are how easy it is to access all of your components. You have your air filter right here, 2 clips, you remove that, boom, you got your air filter. You have your fuel filter right here. You can change that every single year if you want to. Your spark plugs are easy to get to. We have one boot here, one boot on the other side. You don't have to remove any panels. I removed my belt guards, but as you can see, if you drop the deck all the way down, you have ease of access to your belt guard, a place where you can actually probably add a 1/2 inch extension to get some leverage on your belt tensioner to remove your belts. Check this out. Boom, hydro oil filter change right there on the side. Of course, your oil filled dipstick tube, really easy to get to. Your battery is out here. Oh, I almost forgot. As far as oil drain tubes go, check this out. You pull this tube out and boom, look at that. That is so nice. Straight from the bottom of the engine, you have your oil drain. So you just remove the plug, boom, get a pan in here, drain all of your oil, take your oil filter off, put some oil in there, put your oil filter back on, and refill your oil with the correct amount of ounces. Simple, easy, straightforward. Zerk fittings are out in the open. You have them scattered everywhere. 5 or 6 of them, I believe, including some on the pulleys. And a final added bonus feature, I have an accessory installed, which are the strobe light kit. So I can mow evenings, and also when it gets late at night, all you daylight savings haters know that that can cause some issues. But strobe light kit, keep yourself safe, especially mowing by street sides. Bang, look at that. Those are just some of the features of the John Deere Q810E. There are plenty more. There's much more information if you want to learn more about it, including doing your own deep dive into the specs of this machine. I'll have a link in the description down below where you can click and do your own research. Hey, any machine that you buy, that you do research on, has pros and cons. There is not a mower out there that is perfect. There are definitely mowers that I believe are better than some other ones, and this one definitely is at that high level. This is a commercial unit. This is not a residential mower. It does cost a pretty penny, but you are buying something that's going to last you a very, very long time. And don't just pick this up because I own one or I recommend it. Do your own research. I think one of the most important things also is dealer support. Do you actually have a John Deere dealer that's 15, 20 minutes away from your location? If you have to drive 2 hours to buy this machine and then drive 2 more hours to go and get parts, it doesn't make any sense. That's a waste of time. Don't go with this brand. Go with some other brand that is more local to you. That makes better sense in my opinion. But if you do have a John Deere dealer around you, guys, go in there, ask them if they allow people to try it out in the parking lot. When I bought my first commercial mower, I was able to actually test it out, not demo it. Some dealers do allow you to actually demo it on grass, take it out in your lawn care route and try it out. But I wasn't able to demo it, but I was able to try out the machine in the parking lot, which really made a difference because I was able to see if it felt good riding it, if it was fast enough, how the controls felt, so on and so forth. I was actually able to get on it and try it out myself. So if your dealer allows that and you're able to jump on a Q810E, try it out for yourself. Maybe you'll enjoy the control panel. I'm not too sure, but my main takeaway here, what I'm trying to tell you is do your own research prior to buying any type of equipment, especially commercial mowers, because they are very expensive, and I would never want to be the one to blame for your improper buying decision. I hope that made sense, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. There you go. There's my first impressions on the John Deere Q810E. Again, more information in the description down below. Click on that link, check it out. And you can check out their whole Q series. They don't just sell 36-inch deck machines. They sell 48, I believe, 52, maybe 56, 60, 72. They go bigger and bigger and bigger from there. That bumps up the horsepower on the engines and changes much more components, including the fuel capacity as well. Again, I'm rambling. Thank you again so much, guys. Take care. If you have any questions for me about it, let me know in the comments down below. And if you own John Deere anything, let me know what you got. Leave them in the comments down below. I love to read the comments where, again, the people say, and I've mentioned this before, I've owned a John Deere for 20 years and it runs great. I've owned their snowblower for 10 years and it works fine. Never had to tune it up. All right, get that oil replaced, especially on a snowblower, but maybe it's got low hours, who knows? But I love reading those comments. So if you have John Deere anything, let me know in the comments down below. Aside from that, let me know your feedback on this video. Is be greatly appreciated. Again, thank you so much. Take care. God bless you. We'll see you in the next one.